our Impacting Life 24/7 sponsors are unique in that they help us to continue to impact one life, one day at a time. Our gold sponsors, Michelle Perry. She is the host of the Successful Diligence podcast and best-selling author of The Pebble in My Shoe. You can connect with Michelle and get a copy of her book at successfuldiligence.com. Paula Cousson has dedicated her life volunteering in community youth programs such as the Young Marines. Paula believes that the greatest asset each young person has is at least one caring adult in their life. Donald Lamb, he and his wife have been happily married for over 35 years. He is the proud father of one daughter and 3 sons. Donald honorably served his country for over 22 years in the United States Army and retired with distinction. Active in his community, Donald is the owner and operator of Mama's Boy event planning and coordinating services. Connect with Donald at facebook.com/Mama's Boy Events Coordinating. Amanda Aker, coming from a past of drug abuse, homelessness, and being a convicted felon, Amanda has broken through and was able to let the good things into her life. Amanda is now on a mission to inspire and motivate people just like you. Amanda's core message is that our past does not define us, and we are way stronger than we think. Connect with Amanda at facebook.com/Amanda.Aker2017. Our platinum sponsors, Mr. Gregory Smith. He is the author of 100 Simple Ways How to Manage a Property and Evidence Room. Get your copy by reaching out to Gregory Smith on Facebook or email him at smithg1963@yahoo.com. Adrienne Barker. She is the host of the Adrienne Barker Speaks podcast, a life coach and CEO of Professional Global Etiquette. Please connect with her at professionalglobaletiquette.com. Mr. Mike Black from New Bern, North Carolina. Mike helps men throughout Eastern Carolina lead a faith-filled life. He is a compassionate leader in his church and a devoted husband and father. Dr. Nate Dunlap Jr. He is the executive director of the PRF Institute. He's the author of What's Next? Preparing for Eternity and Don't Leave Me Like This, Inspiration to Leave a Legacy. As a 501c3 organization, the PRF Institute is blessed to be the premier stewardship-based teaching ministry that truly responds to the needs of others in the community. Contact him at prfinstitute.org. If you would like to become a sponsor of Impacting Life 24/7, it's very simple. Just visit clkingspeaker.com. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Just visit clkingspeaker.com to be a part of this amazing journey of people helping us to impact one life, one day at a time. And so I just want y'all to know that we have such an amazing opportunity before us today. Today is Independence Day, July 4th. So I want to welcome everybody to a special July 4th afternoon edition of Impacting Life 24/7 with your host, CL King. I am sitting atop the high and lofty Ruth E. Plowden Legacy Chair. And this chair represents the deliverance that my foster mom gave to me. We are live in the studios. Looking behind me, everything looks great. And I even had to rush to get all my accoutrements ready for the show. If you're ready to connect and understand what community truly means, what interdependence means, here's what I've said. I understand that it's Independence Day, and we're celebrating that. But I'm also making a subtitle for the day for us to acknowledge Interdependence Day. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Interdependence Day. And I want to welcome all of you that will tune in now and are tuning in later on our podcast. Our podcast is carried in 46 states. It's been downloaded in 46 states, over 30 countries around the world, and it's carried on 27 different platforms. We are so thankful for that. How's everybody's Independence Day going? Did y'all cook? We cooked yesterday, and our family size has shrunk, but my goodness, man, we just don't understand how to cook small. We just throw down every time like there's 400 people there. I told my wife, I said, man, we got to learn how to chill and just make enough for 1 day leftovers, man. We make enough where you gotta put it in boxes and tin cans and everything else, man. But that's just the way we do. Our philosophy is go big or go home. I hope everyone is having a great Independence Day. Hello, Christine Francis. You cooked yesterday, also VP. That's awesome, brother. I made some ribs, bro. I had to go down to Winn-Dixie and get some ribs because they were out of ribs at Wally World. And so I got another show I'm going to do about that crew there, but I got to be careful so I don't get sued and thrown in jail. Yes, Christine, we'll definitely call you next time because we got to have you over. Christine is an educator doing a fantastic job. So glad that she connected with our family. I don't know if you're back from Hawaii, Christine, but it looked amazing. You made me want to go, and so I owe Charity a trip to Italy. And I think she's going to owe me a trip to Hawaii because that just looked so cool, going down there on those sandy beaches. And just it's probably such a pace and a vibe down there in Hawaii, man. It's just like no worries, no cares about anything. So today, on this glorious day, this day of independence, I decided that I've been thinking about this for a while. I have been promoting this for a while about us actually being more dependent instead of just singularly independence. And why is that important? Well, it's important because, sometimes people get into this mode where they don't have a community. They don't have a network. It's just, by themselves. And my thought process is that we've got to change that. Okay. There's been enough division in our world to last multiple generations. And some wise person, some intellect and or just some grassroots person that would say, hey, look, I understand that there has been some differences, but we've got to come together. Independence Day, the 4th of July, is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the Declaration of Independence, which was ratified by the Second Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776, establishing the United States of America. The founding father delegates of the Second Continental Congress declared that the 13 colonies were no longer subject or subordinate to the monarchy of the Briton King George III, and were now united, free, and independent states. United, free, and independent states. The Congress voted to approve independence by passing the Lee Resolution on July 2nd and adopted the Declaration of Independence 2 days later on July 4th. The Independence Day is commonly associated with fireworks, which we had last night. My neighbor did such a fantastic job. I'm so glad we live in a cul-de-sac, and we're just this is like our little nook amongst the chaos, man. This is a great cul-de-sac. Got some amazing neighbors. So it's associated with fireworks, parades, barbecues, which we did yesterday, carnivals, fairs, etc. The ceremonies, in addition to various other public and private events celebrating the history, government, and traditions of the United States. Independence Day is the national day of the United States of America, right? So we heard and I read for you the definition of Independence Day. Now, I must declare for you, as I'm in my teaching mode, that Independence Day will stand the test of time, okay? It will be what it is. The July 4th represents us breaking away from the monarchy of King George III. Okay, that is something that will stand for all time. Okay, you can't change that. Within the parameters of Independence Day, there are some things that we recognize that have been struggles in our country. Okay, it is important for us to recognize the historical significance of events that required extreme change and required people to come together and face these obstacles. One of them that comes to mind is, we just celebrated a few weeks ago, Juneteenth. And this is an example of somebody coming to light saying we cannot enslave people because the 4th of July represented free and independent states. That's what it represented. So how can you say that it's free and still have folks in bondage? So Juneteenth represented the vocalization and the enactment of releasing people from the bonds of slavery. That's an example of something that America had to do. It had to go full force in attacking the negligence and the errors of our ways. Another example could be when we look back around 1960, we saw that there was still a struggle in the predominantly southern states where we had freedom, but then we had isolation, we had separation, we had segregation, right? And those elements did not reflect what the founding fathers had attempted to write in their dissertation of independence. And so it took some people coming together, right? It took some people to get an awakening to say, this is not what the intent of the 4th of July was. Somebody had to say, we may be independent, but for us to get to where we've got to go, we must enact and we must engage in this element called interdependence. Yeah, we are an independent entity. We are a sovereign nation. We stand alone. We have broken away from the British rule. But within the confines of our independence, we have recognized that there have been created by our own doing roadblocks to freedom. Boy, I'm feeling it today, man. I'm in teaching mode. I feel like Dr. Nate Dunlap. I'm a professor today. Historically speaking, we had to address that. So if you look at the 1960s, yeah, we might have been independent, but we needed to enact this thing called interdependence to get freedom and connection amongst the people. Because when I look back in the history and I look back at those times, I found that we were struggling to understand how blacks and whites could cohabit and collaborate together. And so it took interdependence to be infused into our independence to create what we have now. And even now, it's still, what did they say? The great experiment. It's still forming. It's still being forged in the crucible of adversity and complexity. Are you following what I'm saying? Yes, it is Independence Day, but I want to define for you, and I want to give you an understanding of what interdependence is. Interdependence is the state of being dependent upon one another. Listen to this. Mutual dependence, interdependence of the two nations and economies form a symbiosis or close mutual interdependence of two species or organisms. Here's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Within that definition, hello, E. Man Baxter, the mayor of Jacksonville. Hello, Belinda Tyson Linder, my spiritual mother who got me into the faith. Let me just tell you that within our independence, we must not forget how to be interdependent. It is the dependence of two or more people or things on one another. So what I'm saying is, I need you. And you need me. So in the banner, in the great tapestry of independence, we must not create these small little islands to separate ourselves from the needs and the cares of others. You know, there are a lot of typologies in the Bible, for those of you who believe in it. I do. And we saw that the first church, if we were really, truly trying to be the church, it is so much more than a gathering of people with chairs and neutral music and lights and smoke. All that's cool, man. I ain't got no beef with it at all. But the church is supposed to be so much more. If you look at the roadmap of how the first church started, the very first church in Acts, how we began to come together and symbolize this thing called worship and community, you found that those people went house to house daily, breaking of bread. And you found that there was no person lacking. Hello, my friend from India. It's so great to see you. It's good night. All right. It's nighttime in India. See, we have people tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, literally from all across the globe. And so when you found how the first church started, it wasn't that, hey, look, I got to sit on this pew and you can't talk to me, and I'm going to have my high broad phylacteries on and I'm going to be seen of men, but I'm not going to care about my brothers. I'm talking about recognizing that under the cloak or under the mist of independence, we have got to master interdependence. I need Greg Smith. Right? I need Emmanuel Baxter. I need Belinda Tyson Linder. I need Dr. Dunlap. I need Michelle Perry. I need Mike Black. I need Dr. Skip Mondragon. I need Jessica and Javi Madrigal. I need people. I'm forming an interdependence on my friends. I need Bettina Carey. See, because here's the deal. Here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. I need people like Wally. Wally is the man that you guys never see. You never know. This guy is in the background, 750 yards away. And he helps us with our sound and our engineering and our upgrades that we're continuously making. I need him. There is an interdependence there. And sometimes what troubles me on this Independence Day, the 4th of July, 1776. What troubles me sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are so independent that we don't even know what's going on with our neighbors next to us. Are you listening to the brother? The Impact Motivator is telling you that we have got to be intentional about being interdependent. Because interdependence means the dependence of two or more people or things on each other. What I need is you. See, the definition of interdependence goes this way: people, animals, organizations, or things depending on each other. The relationship between a manager and his employees is an example of interdependence. I discussed this in my second book, once I get this first one done, called The Edge of the Huddle. And we talk about this in depth. We travel down to the place that is the most inhospitable location on the earth, the Antarctica region. And we do a thorough forensics examination of the emperor penguins. And we watch as how when it is the coldest time on planet Earth and it is the most inhospitable place that you could ever be located, we see the emperor penguins define interdependence. Let me pause and read what my dear friend said. Christine says, I see togetherness and unconditional support after hurricanes. But once it's all cleaned up and the power's back on, people return to their corners. Oh, she's feeling me. Thank you, Christine. Thank you for helping me make my point. So when you look at these 4-foot tall emperor penguins, you see that the mother delivers the egg to the fathers, and they go off for 6 weeks to forage and find food. What the fathers cannot do, what they will not do, what their instincts prohibit them from doing is forming a nest. The emperor penguins do not have the abilities. They don't have the architectural skills. They don't have the materials. They don't have the raw stock to build individual nests. So they are independent. They are carrying their own independence. They have a future generation tucked under that flap of skin, protecting that glorious and precious life. Right? But what they do, instead of building a nest, they form a huddle. Instead of saying, it's all about me, I've got to try to survive, I got this egg, I must survive. No, you know what they say? They say, though I am independent, and we're celebrating Independence Day, I am interdependent on all these other penguins that are with me. Good morning, penguin. What you need, a charger? Oh. Somebody walked in the studio. That is my famous daughter, Mariah. And the emperor penguins say, you know what? It's 50 degrees below zero. The wind is blasting at near hurricane forces. We cannot survive without each other. We cannot make it without depending on each other. Though we are independent, we cannot survive without being interdependence. With that element called interdependence. I don't know where it's at, babe. Might be downstairs. That's where it's at. And that's the only way the emperor penguins live, is by forming a huddle. You know what I need? I need a huddle in my life. Because as they form that huddle, everyone takes their turn on the outside edge, the coldest part, and they shuffle around in a circle. And as they're shuffling, they're moving from the inner part of the circle to the outer part. And everyone says, you know what? We are interdependent. Though we are sovereign entities carrying a life, we must be together to truly survive the storm. I need you. I need Mayor Emmanuel Baxter. I need him. You want to go fast? Go by yourself, he says. You want to go far? We go together. Emmanuel Baxter is someone that is an example of someone who I deeply care about, highly respect, thoroughly appreciate. You know why? Because my son right now, who is stationed in Fort Carson, is is on a mission now in Kentucky for 3 weeks, playing for various ceremonies and gatherings for the United States Army. And, I bought Chris his first drum set when he was 2 years old. I said, man, we're going to teach you something. And I did it by myself, man. I was there all alone with just me and Chris. And then when he became a freshman, God said, you are no longer able to do this alone. But you need to be interdependent on someone else. Oh, I feel the Holy Ghost. And so when I dropped my son off at the band camp or the band, whatever day it was, I met Emmanuel Baxter. And I said, man, who is this brother now going to take over my job as the dad? I'm his influencer. And God said, man, if you want him to really get there, you've got to be interdependent on Emmanuel Baxter. And so I said, Manuel, man, we're going to connect, bro. Though I'm an independent entity, we are now going to forge interdependence. And because of my trust in this man, and because of his willingness to connect with my future, with my generation, with my offspring, now Chris is fulfilling his ultimate career using the very tool we started at 2 years old. And when I connected with someone that I needed, now he's getting paid to do what he loves. On this Independence Day, on this very remembered and sacred holiday, we must not forget that under the great banner and standard and ensign called the American flag, which represents the United States, we must also remember that within these borders are people in need. I tell this story often, even though it's not my story, it's God's story. How when Cain was not received because of his offering to the Lord, and Abel was because he offered the proper sacrifice, God just said, listen, man, that's not what I wanted. You brought the fruit of your labor. You brought something from the ground, and I required a blood sacrifice. Just that simple. Don't be bulldog, man. Don't turn your nose up, man. Just fix it. There's no reason to get all twisted, man. Just fix it. And Cain could not process the correction of the Lord. And sometimes we need correcting. Sometimes we need adjusting. This is the danger of social media. Everybody got a platform and everybody thinks they're right about everything. And there are some times where you need to be corrected. There's sometimes I need to be corrected. I made a post the other day, and this is how dramatic this is. This is how important this is. I made a post the other day, and I had a misspelled word in it because we post like thousands of posts a year, thousands, and on our business side, we have reached, man, over 500,000 people collectively since the pandemic have viewed the stuff that we've put out. We've used various tools to get our message out. And I just added it up today. 550,000 people throughout all of our platforms, YouTube and Facebook ads, etc., our podcast, our website. But I'm reminded that God, after Cain killed Abel, he came to him and asked him a question that reverberates within my spirit and in my soul. He said, "Where is your brother? Where is your brother?" Though God knew what had happened because he's all knowing. Why would he need to ask the question? because I believe that it was also prophetic and an urging to those that remain that we need to be aware of where our brother is. And I use that term brother synonymously for brother, men, women, children. Do you know when somebody within your circle is hurting and they haven't said anything? Do you know when someone's down and they don't really have anyone to pick them up? Ask yourself about that. Where is my brother? Where is my sister? You know what? Why that's important? Because that is an example of interdependence. I didn't say codependent. I said interdependent, where we form a symbiosis. We form a connection that says, you know what? People, animals, organizations, things, we depend on one another. And there are times where people will just drop a message in my inbox. I haven't posted anything. I haven't done any declarations on anything. But you know what? They'll just put a post in my inbox saying, hey, brother, I just want you to know I love you. I'm thinking about you. Greg does that almost every day. Greg Smith does that almost every day. On his way to work, he'll drop me a message. Hey, what's up, superstar? Hey, what's up, Mr. President? Hey, what's up, man? We're going far. That's interdependence. And then I'll call him and say, man, I love you, brother. That's interdependence. You know where I'm at, and I know where you're at. I'm not such stuck on an island that I don't have a need for anybody else. I can't do this alone. I need you. Woo! So that's a different 4th of July message coming from the Impact Motivator, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope that something I've said will challenge you to think about the interdependence that you have on those that care, those that matter, those that are in your life. I will just let you know I need people. Though it is Independence Day, I'm putting a subtitle on this day and saying it's interdependence. I need people like the great Charles L. Walker. I need people like Christine Francis. I need them. And I hope that if something goes awry, they can recognize that they need me, and I'll be there. See, that's the thing, man. You know what? When you master the art or the element of interdependence, it's like, hey, listen, let me pick up the phone, looking through my checklist. Who can I call that would help me? Who can I call that would? Who can I call, man? I'm dependent on you. And I'm broke down on the side of the road. I looked at my phone. I call this number, and I say, hey, I'm broke down on the side of the road. They're saying, hey, I'm in Food Line shopping. I'll finish. I'll check out. I'll be right there. That is I need Belinda Tyson Linder to pray for me on this journey. God is just beginning to show me the sliver of light behind the door that he has prepared for this ministry called Impacting Life 24/7 LLC. And I, along with my team and along with my sponsors, declare to you today on this Independence Day that we are interdependent with our brothers and sisters throughout every community, across all the seas. As you see, India chimed in this morning. People from the north, south, east, and west. I want you to know we're declaring that it's Interdependence Day. I hope that you know that sometimes the Impact Motivator don't have good days. I hope you know that. I hope that we are so interdependent that you can just feel and God tells you, hey man, drop King a line, because I do that. When he tells me to do something, man, I'm like, okay, let me go. Let me reach out. Let me just say hello. Let me just type a message. Just a simple thing. You know, they use social media for so many negative things. There's so much vile and gall and vitriol on social media, but there's also a quick opportunity for you to make an impact in somebody's life. We don't have to lick envelopes and put on stamps anymore. All we got to do is just say, hey man, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. Greg Smith has mastered that. Belinda Tyson Linder has mastered that. Just the art of edification, the art of interdependence. Saying, man, you're my brother, you're my sister. Man, we're going united hand in hand. That is the needle and thread that's got to be woven through the very soul of humanity. Right? Because the other side of the conversation does nothing but divide us. Politics divides us. Religion divides us. Social situations divide us. Lord, the Supreme Court divides us. Every decision that's made at the top divides us. And I'm just saying, man, you know what? I can't handle and I can't affect any of that. Okay? What will be, will be. And there's nothing that I could, a leaf will fall from the tree no matter how much I want it to stay. It's destined to release itself from the tree. So it will be what it is. But my mission is not to get so caught up in all the things that divides us. I am not trying to forge a separate, we're not going to acknowledge the 4th of July. We're only going to acknowledge Juneteenth. We're not going. Man, that's not my swim lane, ladies and gentlemen. My swim lane is bringing people together to fall under this glorious covering called interdependence. That's the day. That's the day for me. I want you to know I love you. I'm praying for you. And I believe in God that we are going to see greater things in our future. We're going to see greater things in our future, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all hear me? Hey, Nisi Jordan, I'm talking about interdependence. I need you. You need me. Though we're an independent country, we can't get so independent that we forget about one another. I declared that today is Interdependence Day. Do something. I'm going to challenge you. Do what I just said. Look on your friends list and go and reach out to one of them and just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Anything I can do for you, I want to be there for you. Man, that is truly magnifying this thing called interdependence. I love you. This is C.L. King, the internationally known Impact Motivator. That superhero name was given to me by my great friend and sponsor and staff member, Danny Brunson. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. One thing about my cousin, Nisi Jordan, her book, Behind Closed Doors, the one thing about it is she done got her book done. 3 books. I'm still struggling to try to get my one finished. I'm pushing y'all. When I finish this, I'm about to start typing some out. But man, I want to see her succeed. I want to see her make it. I want this story to be in every facility around the world. Because there are 50 plus million people suffering from childhood abuse. Did you know that? They're working in your cubicles. They're checking you out at the grocery store. They're leading your conferences. There are people like me and Nisi Jordan in her book, Behind Closed Doors. And so what I do, what I say is, man, I'm interdependent with you, sister. I'm going to promote you. I'm going to rejoice with you. I'm going to shout when you have victory. I'm going to cry when you have defeat. I'm going to be there to pick you up. That's called interdependence. And I refuse to be so independent, so self-reliant that I can't count on you. Thinking about my man, Sketch by Design, right behind me. Lon Jordan. He contributes to our Leadership Institute every week. Amazing content. I said, brother, I need you. I need your words of wisdom. And every week we see Lon Jordan show up. We're interdependent. I've had Lon Jordan be a special keynote speaker on my programs. We're interdependent. We need each other. I love that, brother. You hear me? I'm not just independent. I'm not just firing fireworks off on my own. Guys, I need you. This is a dependent country. And regardless of all the calamities that happen, at the end of the day, I will stand shoulder to shoulder with anybody who has the mindset to say we can do this together better than we can do it apart. Lon Jordan is the man. I tried to hire him, but I can't pay him enough for what he's worth. Lon Jordan is amazing. A steady force of amazing content. Go check him out, Sketch by Design. Stephanie Eccles tune, I Need You Too. Samuel Kibo, I need you too, brother. We need each other. Where are you at, Samuel? Oh, remember his country, Kenya. So Kenya's tuning in. This is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. We got to do this together. I need Kenya. I need India. I need Louisiana. And guess what? When you call on me, I'm going to be there. When you call on Greg Smith, he's going to be there because he answers his phone every time. That's what we pay him for. Hello, Kenya. We're praying for you. Playing the blessings of God. Stephanie Eccles tune every morning sends me a inspiring message from the word of the Lord. Every single morning, even on the weekends, on my phone waking me up. There's Stephanie. And you know what? That's interdependent. She's not forgotten about the needs of her brother. And I'm just like, you know what, Stephanie, I watched my wife as she put on her apron yesterday, the apron that I bought from you that you made. I said, you know what? I'm going to help you. You going to help me. We're going to promote each other. She's got my book release date on her calendar, ladies and gentlemen. That's how this works. Interdependence. God bless you guys. Have an awesome rest of the day. Love you. Well, Samuel Kibo, Greg Smith will reach out to you and we'll discuss those. We'll brainstorm the possibilities of coming to Kenya. Greg, just get with that gentleman there, Mr. Samuel Kibio. Bless you guys. I got to go. I want to stay with y'all all day, man, but I got to go. I got to write this book. I'm on the chapter about the group homes. Then I'm going to flow into Mom Plowden's house. Then I'm going to go through church on the North Coast. Then I'm going to close it out with No Matter the Adversity. So about 3 chapters left, and we're rocking, baby. We're crushing it. I love you. Thank you guys for being with me today.